Good evening, good morning, and good afternoon. God bless you, your family, and hope you're doing all right out there. Now, it's been a crazy week. News just keeps falling. Got the Epstein file stuff going on. We got all the ICE protests. I mean, it's just wild stuff every day, man. And it's not going to stop. It's only going to get worse each passing month. We're living in one of the craziest times in history right now. You think back when you were younger and you were in school or watching TV, the History Channel, or listening to your teacher. You would think back, man, dude, that's crazy. What would it be like to live in those times? When history was being made, and what did those people think? Those people did not even know they were making history. And it's kind of like what we're going through right now. People don't think, everybody knows this is historical, but it took a while for people to get there. You know what I'm saying? But without a doubt, this is a very dark time on the timeline. If you're a believer, or a certain type of believer, because I guess, there's the post-millennials. Most believers feel that things are going to be wrapping up, somewhere down the road, not too far along. Everything's been building up to this. And I really wonder what unbelievers think. The darkness and the evil and everything that's happening, how could you deny that there's a spiritual war going on right now?
The one who talks like he always talks like this, and he's very precise with his language. You see, it's what's the fucking idiot's name?
Is he a young guy?
No, he's an old guy. He was bitching about.
Daryl Dawkins.
Yeah, Dawkins. Yeah. He's bitching about Christmas. It was the funniest shit
Richard
in the world.
Dawkins. Richard
It's
Dawkins.
the funniest shit. He's like,
he's fucking. He drives me nuts.
I rather preferred back when we had Christmas carols, and the carolers would come to the door and they would sing, and I rather liked that. I rather thought that was rather nice. And I'm sitting there thinking, I'm like, you fucking destroyed it, you retard.
Yeah.
Like you'd spent your whole life saying that was a bunch of sky fairy nonsense bullshit. Evolution was the way. Fucking immigration great. More liberal policies.
Wow, man, this guy is just repeating word for word things that I've been saying, dude, for quite a minute about those guys. I have the same kind of philosophy or mindset when it comes to like criminality too. Like if I was an outlaw or a criminal or just living the straight gangsta life, dude, out there in the streets just being a straight up, modern day pirate, dude, straight jacking fools, robbing drug dealers, doing whatever, you know what I'm saying? Just running amok. Being a criminal, if that's your life and that's your get down, it's fun if that's what you're into, until the consequences start rolling in. But when you're in that mindset and that's your life, you know what I'm saying? You're living on the seat of your pants, and, everything is wild and crazy. And it's exciting, and a lot of the excitement, it lures people in, women and everything else. That's why they like the bad boys. But it's not fun to be an outlaw, criminal, or a bad boy if everybody is those things. If everybody's criminals, you see what I'm saying? There's no fun in being the bad guy or doing all these things if that's what everybody is doing. It's kind of like tattoos nowadays. They lost any meaning, any like back in the day, those were like a signs of warning, like, oh, this is somebody not to mess with, you know what I'm saying? Like it was a rare thing. They meant something back then. Nowadays, regular normies have them. They're all sleeved down and everything else, and they're nothing like the type of person that would have had those, had tattoos like that, like 30, 40 years ago. That person 30, 40 years ago would have been a straight up G or some kind of, rough around the edges individual. So they lost their meaning. It's not as special. It's not as cool. It's not, and that's how I see it is with, criminality or, that kind of stuff. And that's what all the atheist dudes are realizing. With the collapse of society, Christian values and morals, everybody suffers without these things. It's a trip, man. That's why I'm saying a lot of these people that hate the West, that hate white people, that hate Christians, if you think that you're going to be living in a utopia if you succeed and we're all gone, you think that you're going to be running a tight ship in a world where you're going to flourish in? No, it's going to be all chaos. Lord of the Flies, man. It's going to be Somalia, dude. a bunch of warlords and pirates, and yeah, man, it's not going to last very long. That's why you should be careful what you wish for and what you want to tear down, because you can't get those things back. They don't happen overnight. Society wasn't built overnight. It took a really long time and a lot of bloodshed and a lot of, oh man. But what made it successful and what made civilization flourish was Christianity. God blessed us. He blessed us. We turned our back on God. Now he's cursing us.
Enough of the fucking, and his fucking lament. Really? 30 fucking years of this? He's finally rich? I'd rather miss my Christmas carols. I'd rather miss my Christmas Eve. You know, and so you want to reach through the screen and just bash his face. You're like, you fucking idiot.
But my issue...
How the fuck did you do that?
Well, the way they argue, though, to me, and I've really tried to give them... I've really spent time listening to the argument. So maybe I'm wrong, but for the most part, what I find is that the way, so you know how like Kamala Harris will I listened to 2 hours of her. I need that time back because I was waiting for her to say something of substance. And all she essentially will say to you is
the science. But what about the science? Oh, the new science built by sociological progressives, like they're progressives who that's all sociology is. It's just a bunch of fat women who are progressives who sit around and come up with the biggest loads of fucking nonsense you've ever heard.
That's right.
That's why none of it can be replicated. It's something like 60-70% of all sociological studies can't be replicated, even when they bring in the same scientists, same conditions, same everything.
Is that
they can't
true?
fuck.
I love that. I love that.
It's called the replication crisis.
Really?
Yeah, no shit. It's called the replication crisis. It's sociology at the forefront. All science suffers from the replication crisis, but it's really funny when you have applied science, it suffers way less. Why? Well, because experimental conditions in the material,
Yep, that. I'm telling you, dude, all of this stuff that you see today, all this therapy stuff, this therapist speak that women get addicted to online. Everybody's a victim, suffering from trauma, this, that, and the other thing. The DSM, you can apply a mental disorder to every single human being on the planet Earth. The reason why they did that is for pharmaceuticals to get you on meds. It's a multi-dimensional plot and conspiracy. Of course, the big pharma making money, and then you got all the other agendas on top of it. But the problem is the gynocentric mindset. We're operating under that system right now, and that's why everything sucks and everything is failing. Everything is ran on feelings and not even logical, rational feelings. It's okay to have feelings. It's okay to express emotions and work through them, because that's something that we all have to deal with. However, when it comes to the way the world works, living, survival, just basic common sense, you have to operate under the patriarchy. We're wired that way. We created civilization. We're the defenders of it. The only reason why all this madness happens is because we allow it to happen. We created a big, soft, comfy society where they can complain and blame us for everything and live their spoiled little lives. But all that comes to an end as soon as society collapses. All the people that are pushing for all this crap that's going on right now is a large part of the type of women that Andrew is talking about right here. And unfortunately, they're going to find themselves the victims. If we lose, they will be the victims, the first victims. Unfortunately for them, because they allied with the people that want to see their end.
The material, they're really easy to duplicate, right? Thing go boom, thing don't go boom. Pretty simple to look at, right? So machine work, machine don't work. Yeah. Thing work, thing don't work. Thing fall, thing go up, thing go down, thing go this, thing go that.
Which is, by the way,
pretty simple.
A reality all of us depend on every single day. Whether you know it or not, that Starbucks in your hand, the fact that we can control the weather here, the structure that we enjoy, knowing that ceiling won't fall on, it's all based on exactly what you just said.
Yeah, but sociology, totally opposite, right? They'll take a sample size of 200 rednecks and they'll look at them going through a red light. And then they'll like shift subtly the red light, let's say, right, where it hits a yellow light. And then condition people over like 3 weeks that it's going to hit the yellow light to see if they slow down. They'll say, aha, we've got human psychology figured out. If we condition people based on this, they'll actually slow down, blah, 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 right?
An effort to beautify L.A. in time for the World Cup, Super Bowl, and Olympic Games already tarnished. Artificial ivy being put up along a portion of the 101 freeway in downtown L.A. to cover graffiti has been tagged. KTLA's Alina Abovian, they're live with the details. Alina, good morning.
Frank, good morning. morning. Well, given the timing of all this, it begs the question, were these taggers trying to mock the initiative, or is it just taggers being taggers? Now, take a look behind me here. This is right off the 101 freeway, right by Alameda Street exit. And you can see Caltrans, they're out here this morning. They're trying to cover it up again. But we checked in with Caltrans, and this ivy wall, it was put up on Friday, and it really did not take even 24 hours for taggers to come out, target this wall, and tag over it. Now, take a look at this video. This is from when it happened, and you can see earlier this morning, Caltrans again trying to mitigate the situation. Sometime over the weekend, taggers came out and tagged over the graffiti-resistant ivy wall, proving the point, it's not all that resistant. The ivy wall was installed over the weekend by Caltrans, and it's part of Governor Gavin Newsom's billion-dollar beautification effort to clean things up by way of picking up trash and removing graffiti. Newsom launched the statewide project in 2021 to clean up public spaces across the state. Here in LA, graffiti, of course, is nothing new. It's everywhere, and the city of LA annually spends between $11 to $15 million to remove graffiti. Just last month, LA Metro approved an additional $10 million to clean up graffiti off of buses and train stations. Additionally, now there is a big push underway to beautify LA leading up to the FIFA World Cup, the Super Bowl, and of course the Summer Olympics. Now, these images are making their way on social media, sparking a wave of reaction, with people questioning how effective these cleanup efforts really are, or just political optics.
As I'm looking at this, I'm like, well, I wonder what the odds are that these are instantly going to be covered with graffiti. And then about 8 hours later, they were covered with graffiti, which is just such a perfect example of taxpayer dollars go in and failure comes out. That instead of painting it, which, you know, a bucket of gray paint will cost you about $50. Now what they're going to do is replace individual sections of this ivy every time it gets covered with graffiti, which is going to be wildly more expensive.
Now back out here live, you can see Caltrans crews. They are here, so they're working to cover it up again. And we spoke to Caltrans this morning asking what's going to happen long term. What if they just keep tagging over the ivy wall? Well, they didn't have an answer for that. That is the very latest. I'm Lena Bergman reporting live here in downtown LA, KTLA 5 News.
Welcome to the next gen.
Yeah, of course they didn't have nothing to say because there's nothing they can say. They don't have a plan. They didn't really think that one all the way through right there. It's like, duh. Bro, back when I was doing that stuff, man, I hit trees, rocks, I didn't care. All those environment nuts, it's too bad. If it was a good spot and it stood out, it was going to be a landmark, I hit it, bro. They're going to keep hitting those. They're going to hit it even harder now that it's made the news and everything. And those are some heavy hitters out there, some of those names that I saw, man. So, yeah, what we got here. It looks like mystical. Danger!
Fuck this 7-Eleven, nigga! Fuck these bananas, nigga! Fuck these eggs, nigga! They ain't green, nigga! Fuck these mushrooms, nigga! Fuck these mushrooms, nigga! Ain't no get out shit, nigga! Fuck you, nigga! What you saying, nigga? What you saying? I'm fucking busting, nigga! You not gonna tell me to hurry up and buy, bitch! Fuck 7-Eleven, nigga! Fuck 7-Eleven, nigga! Fuck this one, nigga!
You know what that is? That's a spoiled little child right there that's never faced any consequences in his life for any of his actions. He's been coddled. Everybody afraid to tell him what he's doing is wrong, to change his behavior. Why? You know why. You know why. Because you don't want to be called a racist. And there's nothing racist with telling a moron that he's acting like a moron. And it doesn't matter what color he is. And the longer you continue to coddle those in this culture that act like this and do this kind of thing and treat other people like that in society, it's only going to get worse. I guarantee you if somebody smacked this fool and swung him by his dreads and whacked him into a freaking door or a post or something, he wouldn't be jumping up on the counter and flexing and, you know, screaming at some old, you know, Arab dude or whatever, Muslim dude, whoever he was. I just got a little glimpse of his wife and her little hijab or whatever. But yeah, this fool wouldn't be doing that. That's a guarantee.
People don't have exciting culture.
White people have no culture.
White people don't have any culture.
White people have no culture.
Exactly what is white culture?
People don't have exciting culture.
White.
Yeah, that's pretty funny when people try to say that. It's like, bro, you ever opened up a history book before? Look around the room. Ridiculous, dude. All that stuff comes from envy and hate, man. Those are the real racists. It's unfortunate, man, because white people have been tripping over themselves so long to prove that they're not racist, and they just want to get along, and they're acting guilty and sorry for something that they didn't even do to people that it didn't even happen to. It's unfortunate, man. What you got to realize is that you can't negotiate with people that hate you and want to see the end of you. They're going to manipulate you. They're going to call you names. They're going to do whatever they can to make you look like the bad guy.
Up and mature, the more I realize how bad I FD up tattooing my hands and neck. Biggest regret of my life. Self-employed, and it hasn't helped me back professionally, but it's a strong projection of my insecurities and a forever label of being dumb when I was 18 to 21. Don't get tattoos, people.
Yeah, man, like, it's hard for me to sympathize. I've never had the inclination to get a tattoo, and I really believe that if you get a hand or neck tattoo, it's almost like just raising a red flag. If you think that's a good idea, you should do it, because it's a big flashing neon sign that says, I am not a serious person. No offense. How could you possibly think that's a good idea? What's the point? I got to draw on myself. It's permanent. It never occurred to you, what if I need a job interview? What about my wedding day? What about mass? What about a funeral? And I know kids are dumb, but
you know what? He's got a point there, because I got a bunch of unfinished tattoos and crappy ones that I did back in the day, and I don't get them fixed. Why is that? Because I follow the Bible. It's unclear on the tattoo thing. You know, there's the whole pagan thing, but it's not specifically like, you know, there's a little controversy. But me, I like to go on. I'm not sure, so just in case, I'm gonna do the smart thing. You know what I mean? So, and besides, they lost their meaning. They're worthless now. You know what I'm saying? Like getting all sleeved down and, you know, all over your neck, all that craziness and stuff like that. It doesn't hold the weight that it once did. It just doesn't. To me, it's like when your parents start using your slang words and it sounds corny. You know what I'm saying? It just doesn't work, man. It defeats the purpose, I guess.
But that's to me like a Darwin Award. I hate that expression, but it suits. You see that all the time. It's like these poor people covered in tattoos that cost tons of money. They're broke. And it's like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Tattoo, face tattoo, hand tattoos. What are you thinking? And I hate all tattoos. I think tattoos are disgusting, and I hate them. Like, I really hate them. And my family's very traditional. They hate tattoos. I don't know if you guys can relate. I'm blessed to live in a very traditional family. My parents hate tattoos. And they used to be that way. It used to be that way in a decent society. Nobody got tattoos. And if you did, it was like abominable. And now it's like everyone gets one. Every stupid bitch.
That's what I was just saying, man. It lost its weight. It was like serious stuff back then. Like everybody hated them. You were like the dregs of society if you had them. You represented something bad, like really bad stuff, like outlaw. And the people that had them, they were tough people, man. They were gangsters, military dudes, biker dudes, or just some crazy redneck dudes or whatever, man. Like clothes, you know, they're all, you know, tatted back and everything, got their placas on them. And then you got the, you know, the Bloods and Crips, but they weren't all into tattoos back in the days because they don't really show up on their skin all that much, so they really didn't get a whole lot of them. That's what they used to tell me anyways, because I used to trip out on that. Going in and out of jail, you'd see them and they didn't really have any tats. You know what I mean? I guess because they really didn't show, and I asked a couple, and that's what they were saying. So, but nowadays they all get tatted down, whether you can see them or not. At least that's what I noticed. And now all the white dudes too, they're all looking like they're all, you know, tipped up, or at least how it looked back in the days. They got all the crazy, they got their helmet and everything else, man. Everybody's getting all that stuff, even people that aren't in that life. That's crazy, man. And it's unfortunately they don't know any better, and they're going to find out the hard way, because you don't go in that life pretending to be something you're not, dude. You just don't. And even if you're good at that life, and you know people from that life, and you know you can wiggle around and do some things in that life, it's still not worth it, bro. It's stupid. And if you're half stepping, if you're pretending, it's going to show. It's going to catch up to you, and you're going to get smashed, dude. It will catch up to you. Smart people recognize it right away and get out, and then you got the people that don't find out, you know. They only find out the hard way after years of suffering and a bunch of bad mistakes.
Every guy gets a stupid tattoo on, like they get a Bible verse on their chest, they get a tattoo on their ankle, on their wrist, whatever. I think it's the dumbest thing ever. But then you get it on your hands? Come on. Like, that's just inexcusable. It's bad enough to get a tattoo that you can conceal. That, it's like, bro, I don't want to hire somebody that does that, you know? I don't get it. Very anti.
Oh, I'm still recording. Dang, man. It's going to be a long. All right. We'll finish the rest of the show with this random video that popped up in my feed. And the trippy thing I noticed about it is that 15 years ago, I'm getting all these random videos popping up in my algorithm. And the weird thing is what she's talking. Like, I caught like maybe about 30 seconds about what she was saying. And I connected with it real quick because what I'm going through in my own personal life right now and some stuff, I can kind of relate to it. I mean, I could always relate to this kind of what she's talking about, but that's a long story. This isn't the time for it, but I don't know. Maybe we'll talk about it another time. I've lived a wild and crazy life, man. I'm just glad that the Lord has anything to do with me, and that he's breathed life into my lungs, and I'm able to serve him, and I'm very grateful for that. But yeah, it's crazy that this really popped up in my feed, so let's see what she has to say.
I wanted to point out that everybody feels this way sometimes. Everybody. It's happened to me so many times. It happens to everyone. And I think a lot of it lies in the fact that humans are social creatures by nature. And if we aren't fulfilled socially, then we're going to be really unhappy. And unhappiness manifests itself in many different ways. You could be depressed, you could be angry, you could just be completely reserved and sad. And in effect, you draw yourself away from other people, and that makes the problem worse. So you perpetuate this lifestyle of, I don't trust people, and people don't like me, and people are probably never going to like me, so I will never like people, and I'm okay by myself. But the fact is that you're so unhappy because you're alone. And when you realize that you're lonely, you don't really remember how to fix it because you spent so much time avoiding people. So when the time comes when you're just completely sick of being so sad that you just want to fix everything, and you want to do whatever it takes to make sure that you'll never have to be this sad again, that's when you have to realize that it really doesn't matter very much what people think of you. And the fact is that everyone cares what people think about them. That's also human nature. It'd be crazy if you didn't. I mean, I could walk around naked outside, but I do care about being known as the town streaker, so I don't do it. But you should do whatever makes you happy within reason. And if that means that you're lonely and you want friends, then you have to go places. You have to get back in touch with those people you haven't talked to in months or maybe even years. And you have to tell them that you want to hang out or ask them to tell you about any parties that are happening. And you have to turn yourself from such a reserved creature into a social butterfly. And that is the hardest struggle. But once you get to do it, you realize how much it's worth it meeting new people. Meeting new people is a huge thing in becoming happy. Because if you're currently not surrounded by people that make you happy to be alive, then you really do need to get new friends. So one of the easiest ways to do that is to find out about social events, parties, whatever you have to do, and be confident that you are an interesting person. No matter what you have told yourself for years, no matter what you've heard negative people say about you, the fact is that if someone only has negative things to say about you, their opinion honestly doesn't matter because they were never going to give you a chance in the first place. And if you only have negative things to say about yourself, I'm sorry, but that opinion doesn't matter either because every person is responsible for their own happiness. And if you really don't want to be sad anymore, you have to take matters into your own hands. You have to become happy by changing your attitude. And it really is all about attitude.
That girl's very, very intelligent. There's a lot of wisdom in those words she's speaking. And I'm sure if you're watching this and you've lived a pretty rough life, or you can relate to any of those words she's saying, you understand how deep that goes. When you cut yourself off from the world, from people, when you're very hyper vigilant and you learn not to trust people, you see people for who they are, what they're capable of, how the world works, the probability of getting screwed over or backstabbed by people based on your own lived experiences. The world shows you how ugly it is, and that's what happens. You could be somebody that is once a social butterfly, like she was talking about, always happy-go-lucky. You could be anywhere, any place, but as long as you were with a couple of people, a couple of friends, you make the best of it, dude. Didn't matter what. If you had nothing, no money to your name, you're stranded somewhere, it's an adventure. When you have that kind of mindset, you can go for a walk and meet somebody and end up on an adventure that day. You can go from somebody like that to the person that she just described right now. Life will throw you things that will change you and turn you into a whole different person. And no, it doesn't happen overnight. It rarely does anyways. But I trip out, man. That girl had a lot of wisdom right there. 15 years ago, huh? Man, I hope she knows the Lord, and I hope she's doing well.